My topic is under the big picture principle, and it talks about winning with people, meaning that everything begins with the ability to think about people other than ourselves. This is where I believe the main difference between people with big egos and those with great confidence differ. People with big egos have a very different perspective. For instance, they believe the world revolves around them. They believe they can solve all their problems by themselves. People with big egos don't tend to ask for help because they think or believe that it is more beneficial to work alone and win alone. They usually want to surpass others in order to make themselves feel better or more successful. While people with great confidence tend to be individuals that are not afraid to ask for help or use the resources to help them grow and be successful, while helping others too. People with confidence are always looking for ways to grow as an individual and learn as well. Plus, there's also a maturity difference between someone that is confident versus someone who is egoistic. Because someone who is confident is focused on using their strengths and resources to help others as well as themselves, while egoistic people's motivation is themselves and that they deserve everything. People with big egos are undesirable because they spend most of the time talking about themselves and don't talk about others. Sometimes they do most of the talking about themselves rather than listening to others. When I went to the Career Fest in Irving Park, one of the Millikan alum mentioned that recruiters tend to avoid egoistic people because they're more likely to have conflicts working with a team, and that is something they want to avoid. Plus, being more humble and nice gets you more success, according to this Millikan alum. Whereas confidence is most desirable because they tend to have a positive attitude and outlook on things. People that are confident are very driven and team-oriented because they believe in their skills and they believe they could make an impact in the group for the sake of others or for the company. In the Career Fest, Brittany Dunson, a Millikan alum, mentioned to me that people with confidence are the most likely to make an impact because they have a positive attitude to get things done with the help of others. So they tend to see the bigger picture. This is why I believe that people with really big egos are actually very self-conscious of themselves. They put on this facade that everything revolves around them in order to cover up their insecurities. This is due to a lack of confidence in themselves, because they are very self-aware of their mistakes and their weaknesses, and instead of embracing those weaknesses, they cover it up with making up themselves believe that they are perfect, thus causing them to develop a very undesirable ego. For instance, Angelina Jolie grew up in a family of successful actors and people. However, even though she was raised with a big ego, she still felt alone and as if she was unnecessary. There's a quote of hers that I thought was very interesting, and it goes along with the whole big picture principle. Quote, "There was a time where I never had a sense of purpose, never felt useful as a person. I remember one of the most upsetting times in my life was after I had attained success, financial stability, and I was in love, and I thought, I have everything that they say you should have to be happy, but I'm not happy." Angelina Jolie wasn't a very happy individual because she did not see the bigger picture. She had all this success for herself, but she never felt fulfilled. After she read the script of Beyond Borders, which was the film that she starred on, the story was of a woman living a life of privilege, who then discovered the plight of refugees and started helping them. Angelina Jolie started doing that too, and she put it all into perspective. Quote, "You could die tomorrow and you've done a few movies, won some awards, that doesn't mean anything. But if you built schools or raised a child or done something to make things better for more people, then it just feels better. Life is better." This shows that Angelina Jolie finally gets the big picture, and she stopped focusing on herself and began putting other people ahead of herself. And that is what the big picture principle is. Thank you.